Hi, this is Bryan Darr with Valiantys, and in this video, I'm going to share a recap of all of the exciting announcements that came out of this year's Atlassian Annual Conference Team 25 in Anaheim, California. In this video, we'll talk about rebranding, platform updates, and a multitude of product updates. So let's begin. First, though, I would like to say that everything that was announced is subject to change. The biggest impression I got talking to people was that things are moving very fast, and the go-to-market and productization for a lot of this is still in flux. I would also like to say thank you so much to all of the Atlassian gave so much of their time to answer many, many questions. I really appreciate it. Let's start with rebranding. Atlassian is changing products into apps. So Jira is now an app, Jira Align is an app, etc. They're also changing issues to work within Jira. So we have work types, work items, etc. And they're also taking functionality across the platform and rebranding it as platform apps. So this will include Atlassian Home, Goals, Teams, Analytics, which is for enterprise only, Rovo agents, Search, Chat, and Admin Hub. You can see this slide from the keynote. Platform updates. There are two new cloud deployment options. The first is Atlassian Government Cloud, which is exclusively for the US government and FedRAMP Moderate certified, and that is available now. And Atlassian Isolated Cloud, which has dedicated infrastructure in a single tenant environment. That one is coming in 2026. Let's talk about product updates, starting with Rovo. Rovo is Atlassian's agentic chat search AI product. It's what they're putting all of their advanced AI features into. Rovo, as of now, is going to be included for all paid product tiers, Enterprise, Premium, and Standard. Enterprise and Premium, it'll be starting very soon. Standard will be later this year. And effectively, it's going to be free. It will be subject to future consumption limits, though, once they figure out the tier model and consumption limits. But for now, the takeaway is Rovo is free. Data residency for Rovo is now in limited availability, and they also made a search connector for Confluence Data Center and Jira Data Center. Confluence is available now, Jira Data Center for later. So that is going to dramatically improve enterprise search for anybody that has data center products. They also added a deep research function. They have many prepackaged agents that are specialized for various business functions, and they are constantly adding new agent actions, which are formerly known as skills. It's also possible that the current premium tier generative AI functions will become available at lower tiers and with possible AI consumption rates. App collections. Atlassian has created two bundled app collections with more likely to follow. The first is the Teamwork collection. This includes Jira, Confluence, and Loom. All of those products can still be purchased individually, but they are now also available as a bundled product. They'll be sold by product tiers, Standard, Premium, Enterprise, and Premium and up will include Guard standard licenses. Pricing is not yet generally available. You'll have to contact sales for now. And buying a bundle will also get you higher AI consumption limits than buying individual products. The second collection is the Strategy collection. This will include Focus, a new product called Talent, and Jira Align. These cannot be purchased separately. So effectively, you need to buy Jira Align licenses right now, and that will include Focus and Talent. Atlassian Studio. Studio is a new platform app for builders, emphasizing low and no code. Currently, however, it's just a landing page for agents, automation, assets, and the Confluence Company Hub. But what it's going to become is a much more integrated platform for building across those functions over time. And we believe it's eventually going to include Forge. Focus. Focus, which is bundled with the Enterprise Strategy Collection, is Atlassian's enterprise strategy management app. It allows you to associate work, teams, goals, and funds to a specific focus area and then report on that and see progress. Focus areas then become the top level of strategy in your company, such as a cloud transformation or infusing AI across the enterprise. And they have their own hierarchy. The big announcement is that Focus is now in general availability. Coming in the future are a number of very interesting additions. One is customizable visualizations. So using the enterprise analytics visualization components, you'll be able to create custom focus area dashboards. And one compelling example is to visualize run the business versus change the business percentage of work within a focus area. So how would you do that? We think it's going to be by configuring a visualization object to be based on a particular custom field and its values. You would then associate work that is tagged with that custom field's values to a focus area. And then you'd be able to see that run the business versus change the business percentage based on that tagged work. Other options would be to visualize the percent of work done across various regions or visualize CapEx versus OpEx. They're also going to build connections to financial software. Currently, financials in a focus area are just manually updated. And lastly, you'll be able to tie a focus area to multiple cost centers within your enterprise's financial software, which will enable you to make better investment decisions. Talent. Talent is Atlassian's new enterprise workforce planning tool that was announced at the conference. The intent is to enable high-level decision-making around workforce investment. So for example, do I need to move individuals or whole teams to a new focus area based on a change in enterprise strategy? So, it'll be structured with positions and workers. Positions, which are also essentially investment vehicles for the business, will tie to focus areas, and workers will be tied to positions and work items. And then you can make that connection all the way through. This product is actually used internally by Atlassian now to make decisions about where to move engineers on certain AI projects. You can read this quote right here about how they used it internally. And Talent is now in beta. The current features that are available in Talent are you can pull HRIS data into Jira via a Workday connector that they've built, and they're going to add more later. You can visualize filled and unfilled positions and worker tenure. You'll be able to group by reporting line and group by focus area. You can tie those positions to focus areas, and you can connect those workers to positions. Later, they're going to create more HRIS connectors. They're going to add skills, and they're going to add scenario planning. And here is a screenshot of a dashboard about positions, and another one showing positions and tenure and countries and employee data. Customer service management. Customer service management is another new app that was announced at Team 25 this year. This is a new app aimed at supporting external customers with an outstanding, cohesive experience. Also, it will bring development and customer service closer together, and it is AI first. This is the product that Atlassian is actually looking to move Loom support onto internally, and this is now in a closed beta. The details. This was created as a competitor to Zendesk and other external customer support apps. There are two major components to it. One is a customer hub or multiple customer hubs, and the other is customer service management projects, which are company managed projects. The hubs sit above the company managed CSM project. Each hub controls the entire experience for a specific group of customers. Each hub will have an AI agent, which is not a JSM virtual agent, with its own prompt, tone, knowledge, etc. And the hub will also have articles, forms, and links. So it'll kind of like an existing help center in JSM right now. Then each service project, which sits below those, will contain the queued work for the human agents that are doing the work. So an example configuration will be, I've got two customer hubs, one for all my customers, one for known partners. And then underneath that, I've got two customer service projects, one for EU customers with EU workers behind the scenes due to data privacy restrictions, and the other for every other region. There will be routing based on customer details and entitlements, which sounds very cool. And the intake workflow looks something like this. You'll go to a portal, you can look at articles, look at links, or you can just type right into an AI agent chat search box. That AI agent will help you figure out what form needs to be filled out, find that form, fill out the form, and then that form will be routed to the appropriate CSM project and queue. They also have email intake and website widgets will be coming soon. Now, with this new product, there is possible confusion with JSM. So some of the key differences here are a JSM portal is tied to a specific project, whereas CSM intake is decoupled from where the work will land. CSM does not use request types. It only uses basically AI agents, forms, and issue types. JSM will continue to be great for internal request type and form-based intake. So basically enterprise service management. And CSM will have centralized configuration control, which will allow greater consistency and greater customer experiences. So basically less chance of a project admin accidentally removing a vital field from that holistic customer experience. In the future, after the beta, they're hoping to add functionality where you can view customer escalations from a CSM project in a project. So the use case would be a dev team from within their own project could see relevant customer escalations and then create a linked work item in their own project. They're also going to add the ability for agents to see active incidents on products that the customers are related to directly in the CSM project. Status page updates in the customer hubs, customer info available across the platform as a first-class object, of course, respecting data privacy, and integrations with social messaging, possibly live chat, possibly AI telephony, and possibly live telephony via integrations, and particularly in that order. Here is a screenshot of an example result of an AI conversation where the AI found a feature request. And then this is an internal shot of a project internally. And this is a shot of an organization and its customers and some related requests. So basically, you can think about CSM as external customer service management and JSM as internal enterprise service management. Speaking of JSM, let's talk about Jira Service Management. A new feature they're adding is called Journeys, and you'll see a lot of HR-focused updates coming soon. Journeys is effectively a simple way to create automations that will guide the employee onboarding journey. It's also possible that this will become more cross-product in the future as it evolves, because there are multiple products such as Confluence and Trello usually involved in employee onboarding. But here's a screenshot where you can see it's basically an automation engine, but much more internal user friendly. So triggered from when an employee is added in Workday, then run this automation that generates 4 linked work items within their relevant projects. They're also adding a function to restrict employee data within forms. This is a nice workaround for Jira's current lack of field level security. So they're adding the ability to put sensitive data in a locked form that's visible only to the appropriate people during onboarding without having to restrict the entire work item. So for example, salary, addresses, etc. They're also adding native automation integrations with external tools. And this is, I think, also very exciting. So right now, they've added Workday, which has a trigger when an employee is added to Workday and an action that will retrieve worker details as smart values. Later on, and I think in this order, they're going to integrate with Okta, Workatoo, DocuSign, and Microsoft Entra. JSM is also adding a playbook feature. This will provide actionable steps and automation triggers for agents right from a ticket. There's 2 components of a playbook. One is instructions and the other is automations. So it'll show up on a ticket ready for the agent to act on. And it'll show up on the ticket because you can tie a playbook to a definable work type or request type with possible additional conditions. So here we see on a work item in the middle a number of possible playbooks that the agent could step through based on the particular problem that was reported. And then down here, we see inside of that playbook, step 1 is triage, and that's a manual step. That's just instruction. And then we have an automation trigger that we can run as part of step 2 and step 3. They're also adding smart values for form data. This is actually available. It did not get wide recognition when released, but you can pull smart values directly from forms, and therefore you don't have to create Jira fields for those forms anymore if you just need to use the smart values in an automation. Let's talk about assets. Assets is increasing their capacity from 3 million assets to 10 million assets. Currently in beta is the ability to schedule imports into Data Manager. This is really exciting. This means that you'll be able to schedule recurring imports directly from external systems such as Entra ID, and you won't need third-party apps for that anymore. Assets will also likely become decoupled from JSM, which will emphasize the use of assets across more products. With that, it's also possible that the create edit access to assets for editors will become decoupled from JSM licenses and possibly just tied to just any Jira license. Jira Product Discovery Premium. This is now in general availability. That's the big announcement for that. It's going to, or it does include cross JPD project roadmaps, view restrictions, AI, and then basically all of the premium tier stuff, unlimited storage, 99.9% uptime SLA, and later on they'll have a sandbox. Possibly not for just premium later, they're also looking at adding differentiated idea types. Some of the ones that I saw demoed were idea, opportunity, solution, and experiment, all as work item types or idea types within a JPD project. And also idea hierarchy. Again, I'm not sure if that's going to be premium or available for standard as well. Jira. In the near term, they are supporting 100,000 users. Threaded comments is coming onto work items. It's very exciting. They're also adding public intake forms for all JSM projects, not just JSM. Custom project templates is also coming, as well as an improved list view. Some possible future enhancements, and again, there is no promise of these, but I did hear this from a couple of people. They're considering bringing in Jira Align-like dependency management to the entire platform. They're looking at improving milestone functionality in plans, and they're looking at individual capacity management, possibly in plans. Again, absolutely no promises here. I just heard some of these mentioned. Confluence. Confluence is going to support 150,000 users. Live Pages is coming into general availability soon. For those that don't know, a live page is a page that you don't have to publish. Think of it like a Google Doc. Whiteboards are also seeing iterative improvements. They're also part of the data in the teamwork graph and will be modifiable by Rovo. And Confluence Databases is also seeing iterative improvements. The new navigation. The new navigation is currently rolling out across the Atlassian platform. This will affect Jira products such as JPD, JSM, CSM, Jira proper, Confluence, and Atlassian Home. The exact schedule can be found on the community post, Atlassian's new navigation, general availability. I believe that starting on April 14th, admins will be able to opt into the platform, and then there will be a forced adoption a couple months after that, starting at the lower tiers and then working its way up to the premium tiers. You can also see our YouTube video, New Atlassian Cloud UI Walkthrough, December 2024, for a complete walkthrough preview of that new UI. Loom. Loom is introducing AI for meetings. So much like other note-taking apps out there, but now as part of the Atlassian ecosystem, Loom can join your meetings, take notes, and generate artifacts such as documentation, action items. You can trigger automations off of that afterwards to email the Confluence page, link to somebody, or anything like that. Trello. Trello is rebranding as a personal productivity app. And in line with that are 4 new features. One is the ability to view Jira work directly in Trello. Basically, you create a new list that is linked to a particular Jira instance, and you run a query, and it will pull in work items that meet that query as Trello cards. They've also added card mirroring. This is the ability to see the same card on multiple boards. That'll be part of the standard plan. They're adding an inbox of the getting things done methodology, where you'll be able to collect all your new ideas in one place and then move them to appropriate lists once you're ready to do so. And they're also adding Trello Planner, where you'll be able to see a linked calendar directly from Trello. And then also, if you're on the standard plan, you'll be able to drag and drop cards into a calendar view to schedule focus time on your calendar relating to that card. Okay. That is a lot of updates from Atlassian. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out in email or LinkedIn to myself or anybody else that you know at Valiantys. We love helping people solve complex business problems with Atlassian's great solutions. Thank you so much for watching and for your kind attention. Have a great day.